Texas Republicans have caused a national uproar with their plan to rig the 2026 midterms by redrawing their congressional maps. Also, the president was seen wandering around on the roof of the White House. And, therein lies the constant tension of the Trump era. Republicans doing something nefarious that will undermine democracy while the president does something weird and dumb that distracts us. And it's not like you can just ignore it. If the president pops up on the roof of the White House out of nowhere, that's at least worth a mention on the news. I mean, if Obama had been caught climbing out a window in the middle of the night, I'm pretty sure Fox News would have covered it. No, I can explain. Michelle won't let me smoke inside. Too much is happening, and it's impossible for our brains to absorb all of it. This has been... Wait, we didn't even start yet? Oh, For more on this, it's time for a closer look. As always, too much is happening. RFK Jr. canceled $500 million in vaccine research. Texas Republicans are trying to redraw their congressional seats to rig the midterms, and Trump's approval rating hit another low. So to ease a worried nation, the president took questions at the White House. Sorry, the president took questions on the White House.
President Trump is on the roof of the White House. He's taking questions, or he was just a few moments ago. Let's listen in, please.
Okay, what, and I mean this as exhaustedly as possible, This looks like one of those human interest stories where firefighters have to rescue a dog that got stuck on the roof. Although I think I know why he went up there. He can't answer your questions if he can't hear them. I mean, if his poll numbers get any worse, he's going to start doing press conferences on top of the Washington Monument. Oh, maybe he's on the roof, to throw stuff off, like that old Letterman segment. But we don't have any turkey, so we're gonna throw Rudy. If I'm anything like my checks, I'm definitely gonna bounce. Now, of course, good play on words, Rudy. I didn't think you had it in you, Rudy. Oh, yeah, I was proud of that one. Now, of course, the White House press pool is in the same conundrum we're in, right? They know the real stories that have real effects on America are about gerrymandering and the like. But as much as you want to ask those questions, you just can't help but open with questions like these.
Sir, why are you on the roof?
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Well, I'm supposed to be getting beamed back to my spaceship, but I guess I got the day wrong. Obviously, I don't have to tell you that if Joe Biden had been seen wandering around on the roof one day, all hell would have broken loose. And, in Biden's case, there probably would have been a reason. I mean, old Scranton Joe has been on a roof or two in his day, He's the kind of old man who insists he can clean the gutters himself. There's a damn squirrel's nest up here, no joke. Meanwhile, if I saw Trump on my roof, I'd just assume he was pulling a reverse Santa Claus, going house to house, taking toys away from kids. I just signed an executive order that allows me to take your Labubu collection. And just a quick note for the YouTube commenters. I don't know what Labubus are. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I do know I don't have the bandwidth to learn about Labubus right now, Because a lot's going on. The president's walking around on a roof, for example. So for those in the Labubu community, I wish you well. I'm happy that they make you happy, whatever the it is that they are. Now, thankfully, a crew of firefighters did eventually lure the president down from the roof with a Big Mac on a string. And later in the day, he attended an event about the 2028 Olympics in California. And if you thought wandering around on the roof might be a warning sign about his mental competency, his rant about California wildfires made clear his brain is total mush.
What can you do as a president to ensure that Southern California, the greater Los Angeles area, is safe from any fire danger?
I've been fighting with them for a long time about allowing the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, essentially. And we actually opened up that water pretty strongly. We got a lot of opposition from the governor. We opened it up anyway, and the water is coming down. That we want it opened further. They have a lot of water. They send it out into the Pacific. ocean in order to protect the smelt. It's a little tiny fish that's not doing very well, especially when they don't have water. They really do badly, okay? They've got to allow a full complement of water to come down from the Pacific Northwest. There is so much water. If Gavin Newsom let the water come down, if this guy allowed the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest, they have so much water they don't know what to do with it.
Okay, so I've been puzzling over this for months because there is no water supply from the Pacific Northwest that connects into California's system. I keep asking myself, like, what does he mean when he wants the water to come down from the Pacific Northwest? And I think I finally cracked it. Donald Trump thinks water flows from the north to the south. Let me show you real quick. In Trump's mind, like, the north part of the state, you know, right, is like literally higher up in the air than the south. So in his mind, like, the water flows from here, like, all the way down to like here, because he doesn't understand gravity or like maps. He probably also thinks that if you like trip in Portland, it's possible you might like stumble all the way down to like San Francisco. This whole thing is a lot like when Trump released billions of gallons of water from California's Central Valley after the Los Angeles fires, despite the released water both not helping LA firefighters and potentially hurting farmers who would need that water later in the season. And for anyone saying, Seth, are you really claiming the president would do something illogical just for show? I would just say to you, he's on the roof, dude. Also, I have to go back to this.
They send it out into the Pacific Ocean in order to protect the smelt. It's a little tiny fish that's not doing very well, especially when they don't have water. They really do badly, okay?
Now, obviously, I don't want to step on the toes of renowned fish expert Donald Trump, but is doing badly when they don't have water unique to the smelt? Isn't dependence on water like an all fish sort of thing? I mean, I know it's why I won't go to bars with fish, right? Like, because everyone's like, let's do a round of tequila shots, and the fish is always like, just water, please. And then, like, everybody asks me, like, you bring this Killjoy? And for anyone thinking, like, no, but it's good because then the fish can be the designated driver. No, they can't because they're little fins. They can't. Also, only Trump disses a fish like they made a bad real estate investment in Manhattan. The smelt isn't doing very well. The smelt tried to open a laser tag in the financial district, but there aren't enough kids down there. They're not smart. The smelt are not smart like the big fish. And I've done deals with all the big fish, marlin, sturgeon, halibut. I remember one time a dolphin, which is not a fish, but just go with it. A dolphin came up to me, big dolphin, tears pouring from his beady little eyes down onto his slippery snout and his pectoral flippers. And he said to me, sir, true story. Today, Sal, who writes these, after we do a read-through, he goes, do you want to make the dolphin noise or we want to use a sound effect? I'm like, you think I could do a dolphin noise? You think I've been sitting on dolphin voice for like 11 years? Can you play it one more time? Like, just play it one more time for me. What the? I don't even know where to start. Trump is probably just mad at California because Democrats there are threatening to fight back against a GOP plan to rig the 2026 midterms by redrawing congressional maps, which has caused a national uproar.
The latest now in the political showdown in Texas. It's over a Republican plan to add GOP seats by redrawing the state's congressional map. Democratic lawmakers left the state to stop a vote on the measure, and now the Republican governor is threatening to arrest them.
The new district maps could help Republicans win 5 extra House seats in next year's midterm elections. The move was demanded by President Trump, who is eager to preserve the narrow Republican majority in Congress. The fight in Texas is setting off a national battle over redistricting, with the Democratic governors of California and New York threatening to do what Republicans are doing in Texas.
We are at war, and that's why the gloves are off.
They've decided that the only way to save themselves is to cheat, to change the rules in the middle of the game.
If they do move forward, California will not sit by idly and watch this democracy waste away.
I can't believe it, but Donald Trump has done the impossible. He's managed to get Democrats off their asses. I mean, I haven't seen a liberal this angry since I asked a barista for a straw in my iced matcha latte, and they said, oh, so I guess you hate sea turtles then? Seriously, this might be Trump's only actual accomplishment, lighting a fire under Democrats. For the first 6 months of Trump's term, they've just been like frozen in place like tourists on the F train sitting next to a guy with an iguana on his shoulder. In fact, Texas Democrats left the state to break quorum and stall business in the State House, and now Republicans are threatening to sic law enforcement on them.
Texas Senator John Cornyn is asking for your help to force Democrats back to the state and hold them accountable. Do you want the federal government and the FBI to help locate and arrest these Texas Democrats who have left the state?
Well, I think they've abandoned the state.
Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to.
Hey, reporters, quit pitching him ideas. You know he's crazy and highly suggestible, and still you're all like, hey, Mr. President, is it time to nuke Texas? And he's like, yeah, I mean, we're looking into it. Also, he's probably saying may for the FBI involvement because they're so busy with something else right now. The FBI might have to get involved if they're not too busy redacting my name from the Epstein files because you guys, my name is in there a lot. We have teams of thousands of agents just pouring through the documents looking for every instance of my name. It's taken them months to find them all. It's like, I mean, the best way to describe it is it's like a word jumble in the newspaper where every letter spells Trump. All of this is very unpopular, which is why Republican congressmen are getting booed at town halls, and Trump is climbing up onto the roof to avoid questions. His poll numbers are as low as they've ever been. In other words, like the much maligned smelt, Trump is
Not doing very well.
This has been a closer look.
Thanks for watching.